Hi, everybody. This is the Gospel of John study. My name is Bill. I'm from BCUMC. This is week 12 of our 12-week study, and we are on day 1. And today we're going to look at John chapter 21, verses 1 through 3. So let's get started. Chapter 21, verse 1. Later, Jesus appeared again to the disciples beside the Lake of Galilee. This is how it happened. A group of us were there: Simon Peter, Thomas the twin, Nathanael from Cana in Galilee, my brother James and I, and 2 other disciples. Simon Peter said, "I'm going fishing." "We'll come too," we all said. We did, but caught nothing all night. All right, I'm going to read from the text now from Ben Witherington III, beginning on page 169 and ending on 171. There was not much interest in extremely precise chronology in the ancient historical and biographical works. People did not walk around with little sundials on their wrists. So when we hear in verse that it was afterwards, when Jesus appeared to some disciples in Galilee, we need not ask how long afterwards, as the author has no intention of conveying such precise information. But the word "again" is important, as it is the latter statement, that this was the 3rd time Jesus had appeared to the group of disciples, twice in Jerusalem on Sunday nights, and then this one. What follows is not a first appearance of the risen Jesus to his disciples. Nevertheless, verse 12 is odd, as we shall see. Who's going on the fishing expedition? Exactly 7 disciples: Peter, Thomas, Nathanael, the 2 Zebedees, and the 2 unspecified others. It is Peter, as usual, who takes the initiative, and the others say they are coming as well. Fishing was often undertaken at night, and this tale is a good example of that. But indeed, nothing at all was caught. The story should most definitely be compared to the one in Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. And in preparation for the next segment of the story, it is well if we lay out that text here in preparation for comparison. So here is Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. One day as Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, the people were crowding around him and listening to the word of God. He saw the water's edge 2 boats left there by the fishermen, who were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to put out a little from the shore. Then he sat down and taught the people from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into deep water and let down the net for a catch." Simon answered, "Master, we've worked hard all night and we haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets." When they had done so, they caught a large number of fish, and their nets began to break. So they signaled their partners in the other boat to come help them. And they came and filled both boats so full they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, "Go away from me, Lord, I am a sinful man." For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken. And so were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, Simon's partners. Then Jesus said to Simon, "Don't be afraid. From now on you will fish for people." So they pulled their boats up on shore, left everything, and followed him. Here is a short list of parallels to consider between Luke 5 and John 21. Number 1, in both cases, it is Peter's boat, and Peter fishing with some help. Number 2, in both cases, they have fished all night and caught nothing. Number 3, both stories are set at the northern end of the Sea of Galilee. Number 4, in both cases, Jesus tells the disciples to try again, and the result leave him as if was in a huge catch of fish. Number 5, in both cases, the Zebedees are specifically mentioned as Peter's fishing partners. The stories end differently. One with Peter asking Jesus to leave him, as he was a sinful man. The other with Peter being restored by Jesus to leadership among the disciples. How are these 2 stories related? Is one from the beginning of the ministry relationship between Jesus and Peter? One from the conclusion? I would simply suggest that either the beloved disciple or John deliberately shaped the story in John 21 so that the parallel with the other story would not be evident to those who knew the origins of Peter's becoming a fisher of men. Of course, here in John 21, it's not fish but sheep he will be tending and feeding. But in both cases, Jesus is talking about Peter evangelizing, teaching, and guiding. The parallels are remarkable, and Peter may be forgiven for having a sense of deja vu when this transpired with the risen Jesus over breakfast at the sea. Now let's focus on the reflection for today. Why do you think the appendix was added to this gospel, which ended quite appropriately at the end of John 20? What do you make of the parallels between Luke 5 and John 21? And why would some of the disciples have gone back to Galilee to go fishing rather than waiting in Jerusalem during the days after Jesus ascended and before Pentecost? All right, tune in tomorrow as we will pick up with verse 4 through 9. Have a great day, everybody.